Oh, yeah. He's like even hotter than.
Who? Oh,
Oh. He's like even hotter than.
Oh.
Oh.
Maxim. Yeah. Dadoy.
We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to make this quick.
Oh, God.
Hello, everybody. I am Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is I'm watching Wheel of Time, episode 4.
The Dragon Reborn.
The problem with dragons.
Okay, Nunty. I'm like crying.
No. Okay, this is I'm gonna come out and say it. We're hating this, like hating it. We're gonna have a little discussion here. You're watching it as it happens, but I just want to let you know if you're like a uber fan or loving this and aren't interested in hearing the opposite perspective, because I do have a few things to say.
Okay, I want to say right off the bat that I don't want to be hating this.
I tried very, very hard.
I want to love this, and I can even see the bones of what this could be. But it's happening so wrong.
I want to feel like I'm not doing A, homework, but B, like foreign language homework. And
yeah, like I'm trying to learn
like algebra homework. Like I am struggling.
Yeah, or like I'm trying to learn like revolutionary Russian or something. It's too much.
So we're going to talk about stuff. So like I said, if you're the type of viewer who is like, who just wants to know if you're fans of ours, want to know what we think and why, or if you are curious as to what our experience is like, we have not read the books at this point. You're
basically no. We're way past where I stopped on the books. So
the issue that I am having with this show is I am very aware that the books are long and dense.
Yeah.
And so it feels like, to me, they've sort of split their difference because they're trying to condense and get as much of it in as efficient of a package as possible. And where that is hurting my viewing experience is I don't, A, care, and B, when I do, I don't understand. I don't know who these people are. I don't have any emotional investment in any of them. Mm-hmm. And the handful of, there's a couple, but the handful of times that something happens that I like, it's kind of almost immediately dismissed.
Yeah.
And
like, you would not believe how relieved I am that we got to the end credits with like 4 of the people we were introduced to in this episode still being alive.
There was a point where I was like, oh, they're all going to die. What is the point of any of this?
So most of them are still alive. That is a blessing.
But
maybe.
I sort of feel like you have to have read the books in order for any of this to work for you. And I also, like, I know people who have read the books that are kind of like, eh.
Yeah, we mentioned our friend Anne in our first coverage. She loves these books. These are her favorite books. This is her Lord of the Rings. Do that with that what you will. And she is having tons of problems with the show.
So we're at an impasse. We're at a fork in the road because I don't know whether or not we're going to continue covering this. And if we do, I don't know what that coverage is going to look like.
Yeah.
People don't like comparisons to, say, Game of Thrones. And I understand that logic. However, I'm going to compare this to Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Because Game of Thrones is an apt comparison. They're high fantasy television, like
event television.
Yeah. And it's, when I sat down to watch Game of Thrones, I did it in season 1 in one sitting, all but the first 9 episodes had aired. And you told me, I think you will like this.
Yeah.
I think you should watch it.
Yeah.
And I genuinely cannot remember if I was immediately in. And so I think if I were allowed to watch this show the entire season at my leisure, I don't think so, but I might feel differently about it. But Game of Thrones gave me a handful of things to like cling on to, where I could sort of be like, okay, I understand this, I like this, and I coasted through. And I've mentioned several times that I've seen the first season of Game of Thrones a good 4 or 5 times. And it wasn't until like the 3rd time through that I actively followed everything they were saying.
Yeah.
And so part of me does want to go back and watch these first 4 episodes again, knowing somewhat what we're building to, somewhat where we're going, to see if I feel differently about some of the stuff in the beginning. It's all very, very bland to me. It's all very generic. Go ahead.
That's the other thing about Game of Thrones, though. And it's something that I can only say so far, because I again, have not finished reading even the first book, even just the first Wheel of Time book. The Game of Thrones books are also dense. However, they are from certain characters' perspectives. Every chapter is from a character's perspective. And so it's like a little slice of life that you're getting for like 20 pages, and you move on to someone else's slice of life for 20 pages, and round and round and round we go. And the density of this is so different, and trying to cram that 800-page book into like 8 episodes of television is crazy, in my opinion. Like, I don't necessarily want more episodes, but if we could let some of this stuff breathe. Also, my husband posted an Instagram post really railing on this show, and I agree with most of what he said. The biggest issue for me is that none of these characters have chemistry. 0% of these characters have chemistry with each other. I believe that they are all strangers who just were like taken on this adventure. They do not feel like they have any shared history. Moiraine and Lan kind of do. And then we got some decent stuff with Moiraine and the rest of the Aes Sedai, and then Lan and the rest of the Warders. But it's like, even Matt and Rand and Perrin and Egwene, it's like they don't know each other. It's like they've never known each other. They are the same age. They have lived in Emmons Field for 20 years and been interacting. It should be like
you and me are on a road trip.
100%. And
by that, I don't mean I want inside jokes, but there's no. I
don't feel a relationship. Like, did they do rehearsals? Did they do anything
chemistry
before they
readings,
just started filming? Like, it really is a bummer.
So there were a handful of elements in this, because I genuinely tried, and I mean, we were seconds in, and I was like,
yeah, no.
I perked up when the gypsy woman was telling the story about her daughter.
Her name's Isla, I think.
Yeah, after her daughter died.
Yeah.
When she got into, because I got that they were pacifists, believe me, I understood that. But it was when she got into the wheel will spit her soul back out again, and I need to make sure that the work I do now makes the world better for when that does happen.
For when she comes back.
That worked for me.
Yeah.
That was one of the few times that I was like, oh my God, I think I understand how this captured an entire group of people. Mm-hmm. I found the Aes Sedai, and they're called Warders. Fuck me. I found them charming. Mm-hmm. I would like to spend a little bit more time with them. I straight like Leandra. I feel like we're not supposed to, and I do, because she's got an angle.
Yeah.
She's got a fucking idea, and she's got a tactic. She looks a certain way. Granted, it's a very me aesthetic.
No, I get it, though. I like her, too.
But I
liked her, and I liked the one that didn't die. I liked the one that died, too, but I liked the one that didn't die.
The one that died, though, it just feels like we're checking boxes. When Matt 100%. Killed that family, I was offended.
Yeah.
I was offended.
Like, we didn't see that coming.
I didn't. I mean, when it happened, I was like, of fucking course. But I didn't feel like it was earned narratively. I didn't feel like it was earned emotionally. Yeah. Like I said, so he's now killed this child, this 4-year-old girl. Sure, but we had that.
He had a like little cute thing with the
and
girl.
I don't care about him.
Yeah,
it's like I don't like him enough to be
I care about that little girl more.
To be torn by his dilemma. I understand that he's possessed by that black goop that was in the sword that was in the city. I understand. I followed it. I don't care. Yeah. I don't.
Also, I don't know if this is from the books or not, but like, are the Gleemen supposed to be fearsome warriors? Because from what I understood, the Fade is like one of the worst things that can attack you, and Tom Marilyn was just like handily taking care of it.
You said too. I mean, I heard those words. What are the Gleemen?
Tom is a Gleeman. He's like a bard.
Oh.
Yeah.
So So bard. So what is a Gleeman?
He is a Gleeman. Yes. He's like a traveling storyteller. He's like a bard.
Oh, so bards are just called Gleeman.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Fade is
the monster that was in the house after.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of I think 3 places where I actually thought, oh,
yeah,
like something was happening. So it followed them there?
I think it followed the gunk and the sword. Dagger.
And just sort of crept around waiting for them to see it, and then it attacked them? Because if it was following them, why wouldn't it just kill them and move? Like, or did it kill the family?
No, Matt definitely killed the family.
Well, what if he woke up because he sensed? I mean, is this... Again, I'm trying so hard to not compare it negatively, but it's like, is this Frodo putting on the ring?
Kind of.
And so did that make Fade find him
I think
easier?
So. I think so, except for he has no control over it. Like, Frodo chooses to put the ring on.
Okay.
Because he doesn't
But it's like when he has it on, the
they
Nazgul can see him.
And so can Sauron at a certain point.
I don't know. I just, like I said, the way that it was laid out in this episode was offensive to me, which is a feat, don't you think?
Yeah. Because it's like, I'm not opposed to the killing of innocents in a narrative if it is for it.
No good deed goes unpunished is one of my least favorite tropes.
And this was that. I just mean, in general, I'm not opposed to the death of an innocent if the story calls for it. And if we need it to, like, move someone's emotional shit forward. But, like, Matt has 0 emotional shit. This isn't moving forward anything. All this did was, like, get Tom Maryland to tell us a story about how Gleeman are more than we think they are. And I was just like, don't tell me that story. Show me that story.
Because it's like,
say that with words. It sucks.
I was so afraid something creepy was happening with Matt and the little girl when it first started.
Oh, ew.
And then I was like, oh, we're meant to feel for him because he has 2 sisters at home.
Yeah.
But it was I barely remember. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I remember somebody moving 2 girls from one hiding place to the next, but I did not retain that was Matt.
Yeah.
And it just, and I think that's what's happening is it's like, I feel weird criticizing the show for being like, we needed way more of this, especially because that is a critique of the books. But like I said, comparing it to viewings of other things, even something else that like this that I didn't really care for all that much, like the first season of Witcher or Cursed, it's like, I was following it more and I was more amused. It also, there was, I don't know.
I think there's been this instinct with this because there are like 14 books. I think there's this instinct that like we said at the beginning, like you have to cram as much in now as possible. And I'm like, cool, except for you have to give me a reason to care about it. There was a scene with Maria Doyle Kennedy with Isla and the other gypsies. I don't remember the name that they're calling them in the show.
The Leaf.
Well, yeah, they like
or
follow
the
life,
way. There's
the way of the leaf or something. Anyway, she says something to Perrin about like, didn't you ever learn to use a sword or an axe?
Or a weapon?
I swear to God.
Because again,
the look on his face was comically stupid.
And we got it twice. That is frustrating to me as a viewer because I understand. I'm not an idiot. I understand that if I were to accidentally kill someone, let alone the love of my life, that I would feel and carry guilt for that. But it's frustrating as an audience member because it was an accident.
Yeah.
And so to have that be our introduction to this character, because that's another thing. It's not like we came to know him and whatever her name was. And then this Yolanda, I don't know. It's not like we came to know them and then this terrible thing happened. It's like, this is essentially the second time I'm seeing either of them.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, oh God, this thing that was clearly an accident is going to define his character all season. And there's so much else going on that I don't have time for mismanaged.
Yeah.
Like
guilt and emotion and.
Yeah. And it's like, because I want to be like, I liked Rand and Egwene a lot more in this episode, but both of them did nothing.
Yeah.
So does that count?
That's the thing where I was talking earlier, where I was like, I really liked Lan and the Warders and Moiraine and the other Aes Sedai. And actually, I liked Nynaeve a little in this one. She and Lan were having a couple of nice moments. She had fun with all the Warders. She was like learning stuff. She, as an audience surrogate for us, was learning stuff, which was very helpful.
She was better. It was for me, it was cool when she did the thing.
That was also very cool.
Actually did perk up when that happened.
Yeah.
I swear to God. And so I had 3. Okay.
But it was the reason that happened is because she was somehow so distraught that Lan was bleeding out in front of her. They've had 2 civil conversations.
Mm-hmm.
That's not enough for me.
No, it's not. And the conversations they did weren't good.
They didn't warrant that.
I'm not trying to say that it's poorly written, but it did not do the lifting.
And the second one was cut off early because the army came.
There's like I'm trying to say, because this is getting incendiary, although if you've made it to this point, there's a smugness to the show.
Yeah. Are
you picking up on that? Where
I hear it. I feel it.
It's like maybe if you're good enough, you'll get invited to this party.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm not.
I'd rather drink at home.
You should be begging me to come to this party. You shouldn't be withholding it from me.
Yeah.
And there's just something through this entire thing for me that just seeps of that. And furthermore, I was going to say, it's also reminding me of our issue with the DC movies where there's a lot of like, we got to get through this so we can get to the things. We can get to the good thing. And it's like, I don't know how to explain to you that I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
so what? We get to the good thing happens. I still don't care about the characters.
I'm still having to put so much effort into because again, to compare, DC to Marvel and all that, it was like the first Iron Man movie is just a good movie. Yeah. You can watch that movie and carry on living the rest of your life and never see another Marvel movie. Where it's like so many of these other things, it's like, well, you got to do this, 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 and this to get to the point where maybe you might like this, this, and this. Yeah. And if that's good, then you won't believe what's coming. And it's like, So I guess my question is, are we still covering this? I still would like to like this. Yeah. I would like to get to a place where I either look back and like it, don't think that's going to happen, or like what is coming. So are we covering this weekly?
That's the thing for me is okay.
Because there are apparently 2 more seasons coming.
Twofold is my answer to that. The first is if we don't cover it weekly, I don't think we'll ever finish it. And the second is because we've
lost Rachel and Will. That is another thing. There are 4 of us. All 4 of us are hating it. I don't know if that's aiding or
dampening,
tarnishing our experience, but
so that's my first thing is if we don't keep doing it weekly, I don't think we'll ever finish it. And my second thing is I don't, it's not that I have faith, but I do hope. I have hope that this actually could turn into like a thing in the past. Like we're both excited for The Witcher.
We've lost. Yeah, but
we didn't love season 1.
Didn't super love season 1, but we're
excited for season 2. And also, do you remember? This is something that's so off base from like the type of show this is. But do you remember how much more amazing season 2 of The Vampire Diaries was than season 1? I
was gonna say I've watched I've sat through some lousy season 1s to get to some
2. Mm-hmm. Even something that we love, and there's charm in the first season, and we still love it no matter what. Season 2 of Teen Wolf is so much better than season 1.
Parks and Rec. I mean, even going back to something like The Simpsons, it's like if you ever sit down and watch the first couple of Simpsons episodes, they're a little rough. Like
I mean, we're halfway through, so there's only 4 more,
and that feels.
It's wrong.
That feels wrong. It feels wrong.
But we are halfway through. There's only 3 left.
Well,
or 4 left.
I guess I am genuinely asking the audience because it's like I don't need to be doing this to make your life like I don't want to yuck your yum.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was like, are we making your experience? Is us chronicling our hate watching of this show with the caveat that maybe we might start to get it? Is that worth it for anyone?
Yeah.
Or are we?
I mean, I would be,
because I don't want to be hurting, like I said, other people or even our own brand. It's like I don't want to be tarnishing what we're doing.
I would be willing to just catch up at the end of it, but I don't know.
I'm willing to say I'll do that. Yeah. I don't know if I actually do.
I just don't know. I don't feel like I can quit this before there's some kind of button. Like I want to be finished with something. Because
the thing is, I feel like I literally my last note is this Logain guy is the false dragon.
Yeah.
So it's like I only got a handle on this entire plot as we were fixing it, and I'm sure there's a comment being like, just you wait, this is but the beginning. regardless, it's like I only made that connection because I was too busy trying to remember the words I had forgotten from last week and then feeling mad and guilty because I'm like, you should be able to pay attention to this. You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't need to be feeling bad about myself in my entertainment
on a Friday night.
About my inability to.
Well, I mean, I don't have a huge preference either way. I guess watch this space and we might come back with more.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say let us know. I don't know if we needed to actually cover anything in this episode.
The Aes Sedai have been like
but the Ajas are the color coats they wear.
The Ajas are like
their disciplines,
factions of Aes Sedai. And they're by color. And
so the green ones are
warriors.
And the red ones are Slytherin.
Well, that is a set. Somebody did tell me that they basically are like Slytherin. The red ones focus on castigating the wrong and dangerous use of the one power, which mostly consists of capturing male channelers and bringing them to the tower for gentling, which I assume just means pain.
Well, I was going to say, I can think of a lot of males that need to be captured and gentled.
But the green ones are the battle Aja, and then we haven't met a lot of the other ones. The blue ones, so Moiraine, they focus on causes of righteousness and justice. And then there are...
So they're like lawyers?
Well, like she's out there seeking like the truth and justice. Like she's trying to get the actual dragon so that they can like get ahead of it.
And so Nynaeve is the dragon? She's the sun and he's the pinhole of candlelight.
What?
Loghain's power is but a pinprick of candlelight against the sun.
I missed that.
And so
it's like, I beg your pardon.
This is the most fun we've had in the last hour and 20 minutes.
I don't know. I did look up Nynaeve because I was curious. She is apparently yellow. She's a yellow Aja.
Oh.
Yeah. Write that down, jot that down. I don't know about the like vibe, but what the difference between the two, like her and Loghain is, if that's what you're asking. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I was like, oh, sweet, Nynaeve is the dragon, and then
no.
Okay.
I think it's Egwene. The way that they're
but then somebody, I don't remember who it was Anne, but somebody told me that it cannot be a woman, and I was like, well, then.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think, well, in that case, then it just has to be Rand. No one else is good enough. Unless it's this mystery fifth person who I don't know who they are. I mean, he's the only one who has, like, absolutely no personality or charisma, so he's the only one it can be.
Okay. Yeah, he says with bated breath, let us know if you think we should keep do it, because some people actually some people think it's funny when we hate things. So and I guess watch this space. We'll see what this week brings.
Yeah, we'll see.
Brings our way.
Because also
these Matrix movies aren't going to watch themselves. Yeah, so we might need to prioritize.
Don't necessarily want to watch this on my birthday, which is a release date, or Christmas Eve, which is the final release date. So we'll see.
So, all right.
Right.
That was our episode 4 coverage.
Bye.